Hey guys, what is up? It is munclesonkey and welcome to another loot video. This time I'm going to be going back in time to one of my favorite bosses back when I first started getting into PvM, and actually the first boss I ever did consistently at all, which is Dagannoth Kings. I used to do these all the time pre-evolution of combat back when they're like 2 mil an hour, even with your tribe rating with Yak, so they never were extremely good money, but nothing was extremely good money back then compared to what it is now. But now you can kill Dagannoth Kings on task from Kuradel. Well, you always could, but now you can do it very, very quickly. I personally tribe raid them, so I use Mage, Melee, and Range, kill all three Dagannoth Kings on kind of a mid-spawn world. You can't really go on the fast spawn worlds, unfortunately, otherwise you just get overwhelmed. And I use War Priest gear, which means you don't have to armor switch or anything, and it's really, really easy. And also I'm using the Fremennik boots 4, which are a reward from the Fremennik tasks, because I know someone will ask, how come your bones are noted when they're on the ground? It's because I'm wearing Fremennik boots 4. So if you do all the tasks, it requires like 90 agility and 96 fishing. So there's some pretty high requirements, but if you can get it done, they're amazing for DKs. And they also provide a damage bonus along with the Slayer helm, so that allows for faster kills. So this is pretty much what a DK's rotation looks like. A rotation is killing all three Dagannoth Kings, and depending on how fast you're killing them, and depending on what the spawn of the world that you're on is, you'll probably have some downtime after each rotation, which can be a bit annoying, but it can also give you some time to like collect yourself and look in your Yak for extra supplies if you need it. However, it doesn't take too long to finish off Dagannoth tasks from Kuradel, so I usually do them, although sometimes I get lazy and canon Dagannoths, but you can usually finish a task in like under 2 hours, even if you get assigned a large amount of them. However, we're going to get into some drops here. I only included the drops from one half of the Dagannoth Kings, and that is because, well, Camtasia, we all know I've complained about it a lot in the past, so I don't need to complain about it more. But let's just say Camtasia was making my computer lag very badly, and I would have died if I had used it during my last Dagannoth Kings trip. So unfortunately, the Dagannoth King rings are not worth nearly as much as they used to be. The Seers, Berserker, Archer, and Warrior rings are all pretty low. The Berserker is the most expensive one, and it's only about 700k, and they've just dropped a ton in price, mostly because there was an update a few months ago, which meant you no longer need a partner to go to the Dagannoth Kings, so you no longer have to go through the annoying process of trying to convince someone to come with you so you can open up the gates. You can just go in by yourself now, and that means a lot more people do their Slayer tasks here, and naturally it means that the Dagannoth King rings become fairly worthless because they're not all that useful, considering in most places you're probably going to use like a Ring of Wealth, a 6-Age Circuit, maybe even a Ring of Vigor or a Leviathan ring, depending on what situation you're in, and it's mostly only low levels that don't have access to stuff like that would ever wear Dagannoth King rings, and therefore they are pretty cheap. However, the main thing that you're after when you're going to Dagannoth Kings is, for one, the bones, because they add up pretty quickly and they're noted if you have the boots, or even if you don't have the boots you can yak them or use magic notepaper on them, and also the hatchets, which are still worth over 2 mil, and I managed to get like 2 hatchets in my first 4 Dagannoth King kills of this particular trip, which I thought was pretty wild. However, the hatchets are maintaining a pretty good value, and I'm personally hoping that they go up with the Elf City, because there are going to be crystal hatchets coming into the game, so dragon hatchets will become more useful, and I'm hoping that it will go up in price, but that of course remains to be seen. Who knows with the crazy economy we have in this game. Okay, so now we get into the price check, and we price check everything in here. Dagannoth King related for the first 500 kills that I have done. I have more than that in my Slayer tab, but I just decided to price check the first 500 because it's a nice even number. So all told, I got 5 hatchets during the first 500 kills, 5 Circle bows, 1 of each ring except for the Warrior rings, and a couple extra Berserker rings. So all told, it turns out to be about 25 mil, and it only took 4 hours to kill all these because, again, I was killing them at a rate of 125 per hour, so that adds up to be about 6 mil an hour. That is counting some GP out for supplies. You really don't use much supplies here, but you probably use a couple 100k an hour in supplies. Your armor doesn't grade or anything, it's mostly just the weapon degradation, but 6 mil an hour is really, really good, I think, for kind of a low to mid tier boss, and I definitely think it's worth doing, especially with the good Slayer XP that you get here. Anyway, that's about all for this video. Thank you guys a lot for watching, and stay tuned for future lit videos, or you can check out the playlist. Farewell.